I got 75 problems, and Klay Thompson is one.
Well, he's got a problem. He got.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? It's Court Sessions. This is the AJ Sports Show. I'm Ace, joined in as always by Andrew and Jay. They are somewhere. I'm a little too close to the screen. They are there, and they are there. What's going on, guys?
How we doing, fellas? What's up?
Court Sessions on a Monday. Not going to see it too often during the football season.
On a Monday.
Yesterday it was just an absolute debacle. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I can't today. Just can't.
There's no reason not to have a Court Sessions on a Monday. But you get to watch the Manning brothers tonight. So
thank God, saving grace. Good Lord.
How many big heads you're going to see? A lot of big heads on screen today. You're going to start with the one here. You have a big head, and then you're going to see the biggest head of them all.
Freaking Monday Night Football is kind of a crapshoot, huh? They haven't been able to get the announcers down there. I remember they rolled out Booger McFarland and Jason Witten, and I was like, oh wow, that's not going to work. That experiment failed in like less than a month. Oh my God! Remember they had the Booger Mobile? Oh.
I was just about to say they had the Booger Mobile, and
if I had a Booger Mobile,
ridiculous. Then they decided that they're going to throw 3 people in the booth instead of 2, and they have Brian Greasy and Louis Riddick just one-upping each other with stats and statistical information. It's just amazing.
And I Louis Riddick is actually like a really smart guy.
And Brian Greasy isn't, which is why it's horrible, because Louis Riddick gives important facts and Brian Greasy just gives coach speak. It's just a great experience, ESPN. Great job.
Let's talk about something real quick. I know it's probably something we should have done before I got here. Am I zoomed in? Well, I feel like I am like
you are front and center, brother.
I'm very confused. I've done nothing different. I need to figure this out here. Hold on.
I'll talk for a second here. Bill's Mafia does not like Brian Gracie, Louis Riddick, Steve Levy. They can all suck a gigantic Buffalo's nut. They just trash talked. They just trash talked Buffalo like the whole game. Incredibly so. Like it wasn't even just like a little bit. Like I'm telling you, I did not enjoy that broadcast. I would have enjoyed the Manning brothers last Monday if they were available, but big noggins over there were not. You are just gonna have to live with it, buddy.
I'm just gonna be front and center today, baby.
Would you like me to get a little closer too for you?
Yeah, everyone just get close. Every zoom in, just
huddle in, guys, huddle in. All right. Oma.
I'm more than secure with my camera zoom this right now.
What's going on?
I blew my nose, so we're good. I was a little worried about the bogey showing up in the camera there. You
were about to say something, and then you just were enamored by your little portrait there, your zoomed in portrait. So what were you gonna say?
Geez, I don't remember.
You don't even remember? Love it.
Something about how awful the Chiefs were yesterday. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this is Court Sessions, brought to you by YouTube and Twitter. So we're on both today, and we'll see if we get any Twitter viewership. If you are
on the bird,
if you're on Twitter, hit some of those hearts or something. I don't know. I've watched live streams on Twitter before, but I don't know if I've actually commented. So you could spam us with hey, that's us. Probably on some 10-second delay, but yeah, leave us a comment if you're watching it on Twitter, because that's kind of exciting. Well, we're gonna get started, and if you remember, please interrupt us at any point of the broadcast. We will take any time away for you as you need it. But first, we're gonna talk about news around the league. It's week 2 already, guys, and I know I wanted to like maybe bring up power rankings and stuff like that, but there's like 7 3-0 teams this week, and it's not that important to cover the power rankings when the season is just very young. But already on a young season, we have some pretty cool things that have happened. All right, I'll let you guys. I'm gonna roll the dice here. What do you guys want to start with? You guys want to start with the dude from LA, the dude from Phoenix, or the dude from Brooklyn?
LA guy last for sure. So the dude. Let's talk about probably the least exciting, which is the dude from Phoenix.
Is this really not exciting? Okay, we'll talk about it right now. So this is history. We have not seen this before in NBA history, CP3 history. He is the first to 20,000 points and 10,000 assists. Now, Now we can give it up to Chris Paul a little bit there.
A bit of
'cause
props, yep.
I mean, that's awesome, right? He did it. He did it this week, the first game of the season, I believe. And that was against the Denver Nuggets, in which Jokic and company got some payback for losing, getting swept to them in the playoffs last year. So that was nice to see for Jokic and company. But first to do it. But we also have to bring it back always to here. The next guy up on the list is 288 assists away, and that is Mr. LeBron James, who even more impressively so has 35,000 points and is close to 10,000 assists. So I mean,
the grin on this guy's face, dude. I swear. Look at the grin. You're just saying LeBron. Look at the grin on his face.
I don't know what sounds a goat makes, but I gotta get like a goat.
It's usually a bah, but
yeah. That's what LeBron. Every time LeBron walks, his shoes should just go bah bah bah. Every step that dude takes, that's what happening.
Is LeBron James not going to be the greatest basketball player to ever play the game?
I mean, if you asked me a year ago or even before I guess if you asked me even before the Lakers title run in the bubble and everything, I think there was it's harder to make the argument against it, is what I'll say. It's very difficult to to put together an argument with facts, with storylines, with emotion and everything that comes with it to find something against it. I think that's where we're at with it. I don't know if he's definitively the greatest, but I think arguing against him has now become the most difficult. It was, there were a couple holes in Michael's game. There were a lot of holes in players for Kobe. There were some in Kareem's. But when you look for LeBron's, it's there's no definitive holes in it. And one of the ones that the big hole, a lot of people say, this is just an example from my little recreational basketball pickup games I played the other day. Some guy was he's a paper champion. He's a paper champion. And this is the one thing that I'll always say about stacked teams or whatever, or dynasties, you're supposed to win when you have greatness. So don't knock people for doing exactly that when they have the greatness. If they're able to get great players on their team, their job is to win. And if they win, then, congratulate them. And I don't buy into this narrative that the paper champion and stuff, he stacked his team. Well, he stacked his team and won. If he stacked his team and lost, it's a different conversation. He stacked his team and won. He did what he set out to do. So that's where I kind of stand with it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Jay speak on this, but it's incredibly interesting to even continue having this debate. In all facets of the in sports, NFL is kind of leaning just towards Tom Brady at this point. So it's exciting. But what are your thoughts, Jay? I mean, I know this is insane, but
So the thing I've always told Andrew, right? I mean, you could pick your flavor, and that's kind of what happened before LeBron James really took the mantle as the greatest player of all time, because he really is. Depending on who you ask, you'll get Kareem, you'll get LeBron. I mean, you'll get Kobe, you'll get Michael, and those guys were kind of just what did you like? Did you like the scoring? Did you like Mike and his outlook and what he did off the court as well with the whole Jordan brand and stuff? But my contention with anytime anyone's ever asked who's the greatest basketball player ever is if you were to go into a lab and build one basketball player who was the perfect size, who had the perfect IQ, who was great in the locker room, who did everything right off the court, you could not have drawn up a better player than LeBron James, right? I mean, every situation that this guy has been put in, he's always made the right decision. I mean, literally, and that's kind of even played into his downfall a little bit. The biggest gripe on him used to be that he wasn't clutch. Even though if you look at his clutch field goal buckets, I mean, he has one of the highest shooting percentages in clutch time in NBA history, postseason or regular. So my contention has always been that LeBron is the most. He's literally out of a lab. LeBron's going to make the right basketball play all the time, even if that means sacrificing some of the glory that LeBron could get by hitting a game-winning shot over three guys like Kobe used to do, because the guy who's wide open in the corner, realistically, would have a better chance of hitting that shot, if you line it up, than LeBron over three guys. Now, the thing that we always marveled about Kobe was, and Michael, obviously as well, is the numbers didn't matter to him. He was Michael and Kobe, whoever you were talking about, and they were going to win the damn game, and they were going to take over the damn game. And LeBron does it, but LeBron does it throughout the entirety of the game, and so does Michael and Kobe. I'm not arguing that they don't, but they're going to go get theirs and drag everyone with them. LeBron has done an amazing job of every type of environment he's been in, elevating the players around him while also continuing a Hall of Fame top 3 player of all time at the same time. So doing all of that, I mean, his win share percentage is freaking unbelievable. Again, he's going to make the right play every time. So if I'm looking for the most, like, again, out of a lab basketball player, it's LeBron James. I mean, even look at the size. Like, LeBron is literally like almost 6'9". Like, he is huge. And Kobe wasn't small. Kobe's like 6'5" and a half. Oh, you know, he listed
6'6".
but come on.
Yeah,
he's 6'5" and a half. I'm 5'9". Okay, I'm 5'7". What are we doing? Okay, so you know, we always geese it up a little bit. So yeah, I mean, the greatest player is LeBron to me. I mean, when it comes down to it, new numbers, championships, everything, awards, hardware, he's gonna have it all. He does.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Kobe will always be my guy, and that's fine. I'm not gonna lose sleep over if LeBron or MJ are technically better. But I will say that if I had to break it down this way, LeBron is a much better person than MJ, and that kind of also factors into it too, because we're not just looking at these basketball players as stars and athletes and insane feats of human beings, but we're also looking at them as what they do for the world around them. And MJ, he's rectified himself a little bit, but very, very selfish back in the day. Mr. Gambler, wasn't the best teammate, I would say. Obviously, had that whole spit with going to being a baseball player and kind of just dumped out on his teammates. If I had to say, though, I would say LeBron's probably the best athlete that the NBA will ever have. MJ's the best winner, and Kobe's just the best in my heart. And I'll leave it at that. And I'm probably in 20 years still think the same way.
So let me just bring this up to you guys real quick, because I this narrative kind of reminds me of a lot of what we saw this week with the NFL, right? Matthew Stafford is a guy who was very much dedicated to the city of Detroit. He did not want to leave Detroit until the very end. A lot of these guys, a lot of these players, they don't want to leave, right? Like, I mean, they get drafted somewhere. They want to be the reason why their team won. And I know everyone, like Andrew mentioned, the guys at the gym are talking about, oh, he's a paper champion and all that. LeBron was in Cleveland. Like, he didn't get drafted to LA like Kobe did, or to the Bulls like Michael Jordan did, right? Like, he was drafted to Cleveland, did everything he could with Zinedine Ilgauskas as arguably his second best player. And finally he was like, dude, this is enough. Like, I can't keep doing this. And then decided, I'm going to go I'm going to go and I'm going to seek my success elsewhere and in other ways. Got it. And still felt so guilty and remorseful. He came back and they were a crapshoot. They had 3 first-round draft picks after LeBron left and shit the bed the entire time. And he still came back. So I know a lot of people want to kind of dog him for this, but I'm just saying, like, look at even from another sport, like Matthew Stafford. Like, if Matthew Stafford is a supreme talent, like, we've known that. I mean, this dude can throw the ball with the best of them. He's got, he's like one of the top quarterbacks when it comes to fourth quarter comebacks in his career, because the Detroit Lions are always down. And he's so great. He can find a way to win sometimes. But I'm just saying, like, would we be looking at LeBron's career if he was even more selfish and looking at it even better than what it was? Right. And that's kind of where I think it's kind of crazy, where people kind of bring that crap up. But I think it's so untrue. Like, if he was genuinely selfish, he wouldn't have stayed there for 7 years and tried everything to make it work until he finally was like, hey, dude, like, I can't help you guys. Like, if you guys don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. And I kind of look at it and, like, and Matt, there's a lot of other examples, but, just this week, Matthew Stafford and the Sean McVay thing really, like, started hitting its head on me, where I was like, I mean, really, like, Matthew Stafford could have left after like year 4. He didn't have to sign that extension, and he could have just been gone. He could have won somewhere else, and he probably would have won somewhere else. I mean, look at how well the Rams are doing now. But just something to think about, like, everyone always wants to talk about these players in that kind of light. Like, you want to see true selfishness? Like, I mean, it is their career, by the way. I mean, everyone has the audacity. Oh, they're so selfish. Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know it was your career, bro. Yeah, this is their life. They only get one of these careers in their lifetime. It's not like they start a new career.
Unless
that's a good point in and of itself.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're Michael Jordan, you retire and then become a baseball player, then you come back and then you retire and become basketball player can.
I think too. Everyone always talks about Michael. Oh, he doesn't have the commitment of Michael Jordan. Really, the guy who left the game to go play another sport. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
because he came to LA to make movies. Okay, well, he won a championship already.
And he played for the Wizards. I mean, he played for the Washington Wizards. Like, kind of a weird move there, buddy. I hope that this conversation isn't as easy as it is, and like, when we're 80 years old, and maybe there's another, Nikola Jokic, another basketball player out there that makes us all think, wow. But being as that is, we'll continue on to the next one here, and this one's probably the least impressive of the kind of news breaking history that we have around the league. But James Harden is the second active player on this list. He is fourth all time in threes made. He passed up, oh my gosh, Kyle Korver in threes made. I was like, wait a second, I forgot. And so he stands behind Reggie still. Reggie has 2,560. Obviously, Steph is the first active, which Steph is second all time with 2,846. And then Ray Allen is 2,973, obviously leading there. But Ray Allen's record is going to be beat by Steph. And then Ray Allen will probably fall to third place once James Harden, gets his career, like gets these threes through his career. So Steph and Harden, number 1 and 2, most likely, when all is said and done, which is crazy because like James Harden is unbelievable, and I don't even give him that much credit half of the time. And lately, I'm like, I'm going to give this guy some more credit. We share the beard. People don't fear mine, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, and
very, very big of you, Asa. Very big of you.
Okay, so obviously Reggie Miller will tell you he's still the best. Reg is going to tell you he's still the best 3-point shooter of all time. I'm sure Ray Allen is going to say the same thing. Andrew, do you have an opinion of these four guys? Do you have a favorite?
It's Steph for sure. Steph is probably the player outside of anybody wearing purple and gold that I will set aside time to actually like to watch, and he's like he's been just a revelation that he came to the NBA. The way he shoots, how he plays, the freeness, like he just brings a freeness to the game that like a lot of players really haven't. Like he's almost got. I don't want to like send a parallel to like other another sport, but I guess if I have to, I'll say to football. Like the way that guys like when Mahomes first came out, and now how Josh Allen plays and Lamar Jackson, like a lot of stuff looks effortless, and he was kind of the first guy like when shooting from that range and being small. He just made it look super effortless. So it made it very exciting. I mean, because especially like, when you're in a gym just running around, like especially as a rec ball player, like you love to throw up crazy shots and you hope they go in, and you see this professional doing it, like actually like, measured and practicing these things. And they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're intentional. They're not just chucking them up. Like he's intending to take these 35 footers. Like he is coming down the court knowing he's going to make these shots, and it will never not be amazing. I mean, I remember the first time he hit that game winner against OKC. I think that's when I kind of like got my affinity for him. Then the Mike Breen hit him with the double bang call, and so yeah, definitely Steph. I think just a quick touch on Harden. Congrats to him for getting that record. I do believe, like you said, he'll finish second above Ray Allen. I think Harden and Westbrook, I know to bring Westbrook in, this is a little weird, but I think Harden and Westbrook, once their careers are over, depending on if they win titles or if they don't, are going to be the two most difficult players to evaluate in terms of where you put them in echelons of like NBA history, because of just what they've done and they're triple double guys. They just pack the stat sheet. They're impactful, but didn't win titles. So I'm really going to be curious to see how both their careers finish out. But James Harden will definitely be in that second spot. Klay Thompson probably be third. So Ray Allen might get bumped out of top 4. Hopefully Reggie Miller gets taken down if it gets bumped out of the top 5. I don't like
Reggie. He probably will be at some point.
Yeah, I mean, to Reggie and to Ray Allen's, kind of, I don't want to say defense, but kind of to their defense. I mean, this is the 3-point ball now is absolutely transformed the game. And that has a lot to do with Steph, as Andrew kind of alluded to. We've never seen threes get taken at the rate it is that they're taking now. James Harden is, I remember watching that the other day and I was like, oh my God, he's already up there. Like, good Lord. Like, that's how many threes everyone shoots nowadays. Like, I mean, we're going to look back at it when we're older, right? Like, God forbid. And it's going to be a freaking crapshoot, like with the way these youngsters are coming in and chucking them up now too. I mean, like even some of these records we're seeing now, I mean, are minuscule. I mean, James Harden was playing when Kobe was around, dude. I mean, it's not like they were chucking up that many threes when Kobe was around, even at the tail end. Yeah, it didn't really like evolve until maybe just about 7 years ago when it really took over. And yeah, I mean, analytics, really. I mean, let's call it what it is, right? Analytics tell you, you know, if you can get up this many threes and shoot at this percentage, as opposed to getting up this many twos and shooting at this percentage, you're more, you know, more adept to try to shoot the threes. So, yeah, I think, you know, just speaking on the records, this is something that's going to be a continued back and forth is broken records, and points per game is going to go up like crazy. The pace of the NBA and that's why I find it so silly at times to compare like just straight stats. Like you have to have context. Like, when you look at it, like Kobe's going to go down. And I mean, for his career, he averages almost 25 points per game. Like there's going to be players who are nowhere near on Kobe's level that are going to average similar points per game due to the pace, due to the shots, due to how much more the shots count for with how many, like I said, how many 3-pointers are being taken by these guys. So it's kind of crazy. Like, you know, people are so fast. Stats, they can tell you a lot, but they're also misleading depending on how you use them. That's why everyone, you know, you see a lot of these pundits on these national TV shows. Oh yeah, stats. You know, can't lie, can't argue with stats. Yeah, I can, because you can take stats and tell whatever narrative you want to tell.
Stats don't lie, buddy.
I mean, yeah, on the surface of them, yeah. If someone has 5 picks, someone has 5 picks. Patrick Mahomes right now has as many interceptions as Zach Wilson. Okay, Patrick Mahomes also has half of his interceptions coming off of tipped passes by pass catchers. Like, yeah, it's also true that Patrick Mahomes is leading the league in interceptions. It is also true that half of them have been in their receivers' hands and not caught. All right, so context. That's all I'm asking for with this kind of stuff. As we start to see these records get shattered, as we start to see, you know, all of these players, you know, players that we grew up idolizing and that we thought were the best, and they still are. Just because they're being passed by these guys doesn't mean that these guys are better than them, and it doesn't mean that they're not better than them. We just have to take everything, right? That's why it's so important. Like me and Andrew make fun of this all the time because, you know, you watch these guys and you can tell, like, some of these guys don't watch the damn games. Like, you have to watch. Like, there's a game within the game, dog. And I mean, I know I go off on tangents like crazy, so I'm just going to talk real quick about it. Playoff baseball. Like, there's a reason why I say wake me up in October, bro. Like, like baseball, like the way it was intended to be played doesn't fully like show itself until October, until you get in. Like, no one's hitting and running in game 85. Okay, but when you're down 2 and you got a runner on first, nobody out, and your next guy coming, where you really need to get a guy in scoring position, you're going to see a hit and run. And you're never going to see it in game 82. But once you get to the playoffs and it actually matters, context. I guess that's my big thing here. Just give me some context around everything.
So I was going to reward you with something. Oh, he left. Oh, well, you get 1 ace now. I was going to reward you with 5 aces, but then you went on a tangent a little bit. So I'm going to give you a respectable. Giving you a respectable 4 aces here. Yeah, you made some good points. I especially like the part where you said like stats do lie because you can just influence them. However, Andrew, I do agree with you. Steph is just Steph is the key that unlocked the door for the future 3-point shooters in this league. So Andrew brought up that great point too. If I look back and just like context, I think one of my favorites, not my favorite, but one of my favorites is probably Dirk Nowitzki. Just the 7-footer, Mr. Germany here. He changed the floor for big men, and so I would say like he was probably, in my opinion, the most successful 7-foot 3-point shooter we'll have in the league, and probably did what Larry Bird could have done if Larry Bird played in a positive 3-point era. But Dirk, even before the 3-point shots were so heavily favored by teams, like he was just doing his thing. Happy he got a ring. Happy he got a ring out there.
He gets so overlooked, man. I mean, people talk about him and they're like, oh, he only had 1 ring. Go look at the ring. I mean, good Lord. Go look at who he beat to get that ring. And you wonder why Dirk doesn't have, more accolades and more wins. God forbid he was going up against the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, I
for
know.
15 years. I mean, the fact that Dirk was as good as he was, and look at, Dallas, they're kind of doing it now, right? Hopefully Mark Cuban's learned. They tried to go get Kristaps for Luka here, but the best player that they got for Dirk was a washed up Jason Kidd. Come on, dude. Steve. Did I say who I say? Jason Kidd? Well, yeah, Jason Kidd too.
Yeah, Kidd too. But Nash in his prime, they made it to the finals. They made it to the finals with Nash, but then they lost to the
right.
And they made it again in 11.
They did get
but they had Jason Kidd then as well. But JJ Barea was the starter.
And Sean Marion, come on.
Eric Dampier was the starting center.
Right. Thank you. You're making my point. Thank you very much. Exactly.
How full circle is it though that Luka now gets Jason Kidd as his coach? I think that's kind of funny. Mark Cuban also being influenced in that decision as well. Okay, so we're holding out for our LA boy for the last one here. And it is Carmelo Anthony. Yesterday was the reason the Lakers won that game. Not to say the Lakers didn't deserve to win the game otherwise against the Memphis Grizzlies. They won 120 to 119. Ja Morant played brilliant and made 2 out of 3 3-point free throw shots to not tie the game. He needed to make that last one, and as it was coming out of his hands, you could tell right away that it wasn't good. But yeah, Melo making his spot in history, and I will also say like I would love to watch Carmelo Anthony play for as long as he has, but I'm so like I don't think this is uninteresting. I just think, he's great. And I understand that through some context now, but he's 9th in the scoring list now. It's long-winded to say that. He passed Moses Malone. He has 27,423 points. Next is on his list is Shaquille O'Neal, Mr. Big Diesel himself, who has 1,100 more points than him. So obviously not out of the question that Melo can pass him either. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts about Carmelo?
9th. 2 years ago, this dude was out of the league. Oklahoma City, toss aside. Houston, let go. It's pretty remarkable, dude. I remember when he was coming out, I was a huge Carmelo Anthony fan. That run he had in Syracuse absolutely stole my heart, dude. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be incredible. And, LeBron has obviously lapped him by freaking 1,000. Absolutely lapped him. But, Melo's had a pretty damn good career for himself, too. And, I don't know. There's a lot of these guys, man. Maybe because I grew up with him or something. I love seeing it. Like Andrew, I'll let Andrew talk about it a little bit because I know Andrew. Like when the game tipped off yesterday and they're going through the rosters and stuff and just seeing the names like LeBron and AD and Russ and Melo. It's just like, dude, y'all better be ready out there. Y'all better be ready, bro. Yeah, Malik Monk looking great. And Asa, you're 100% right. The Lakers don't win that game yesterday without Carmelo Anthony, bro. Carmelo Anthony was lights out, absolutely lights out. The Lakers were struggling to buy buckets in the first half. He came in off the bench and absolutely brought a huge spark off the pine. I wanted to go crazy today in our picks and pick him as a 6th man. I was just close. I was just close, baby. I can't do it, though. I can't. But I was very close to doing so. Andrew, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I just don't see how you can see those 4 guys on one team and be like, this is bad for basketball. I hate hearing that from people. It's a tired take. People saying that bringing players together is it's never a bad thing. And I think the thing is with the players that we grew up with is we've seen them all kind of we've seen them all mature so far. And I think that there's a different there's this juxtaposition between who we grew up with and who we're and there's where they currently are now in terms of who we're also watching right now. Because I don't know. I don't see I don't see guys like Melo was the 3rd overall pick. I don't see a guy like Jalen Green in 30 years right now, who I have as my rookie of the year pick, we'll talk about later, being like, oh, Jalen Green passed this guy for 9th on the scoring list. Carmelo, when he came into the league, we thought that he could reach that pinnacle. LeBron, we thought he could reach that. They had that sort of impact. Some of the and maybe it's because of how quickly they're coming out of college, and I'm going a little off here.
The one and done thing for sure.
The one and done thing definitely makes it harder to grab on to who we what we it kind of tricks our eyes a little bit. We're not really sure what we're seeing just yet. So that's, I guess, what I'll say from it. But it's never bad for basketball to see these guys. Him being where he is at, passing someone like Moses Malone is just crazy to me. And Dirk's up there too. He'll probably get past. I don't know where he'll end. I was going to say too, the little quick factoid on the 3-point on the 3 free throws that John Morant missed the last one. Did you?
This is good. This is good. Yes.
So I think I don't have it right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure you saw the same stat. 90 free throw shooters who are 90% average. Jay, do you know the whole stat?
It's basically just saying like when you combine averages, like Steph Curry shoots like a 90% for his career. I think it's like 89% for his career. In order for Steph Curry, like if he gets
91.2.
Okay, 91.2. If Steph Curry gets fouled on a free throw, the chances of him making all 3 free throws are only like 76%. And I say only because that's unbelievable. But like everyone thinks because they get 3 free throws are automatically going to go up there and knock them down. Well, no, if they shoot 9 of them, if they shoot 10 of them, he's going to miss 1 of them. And so where is that one? So like John Morant yesterday went up to the free throw line and he's like a career 80% 3-point shooter. A free throw shooter. But that means he's going to miss 2 out of every 10. So if you only give him a sample size of 3, the chances of him making both of them are only like 70%. And I say only again, because 70 is still pretty damn good. But it's crazy how percentages can play a factor on you. Like if I just tell you, oh, he's an 80% free throw shooter and he goes up to shoot 3 free throws, you're thinking, oh, all day, like got it. But no, the percentage, like combined percentages, like when you combine them, it's very difficult to hit 3 in a row, no matter how good of a free throw shooter you are. I'm gonna go find it.
Please do. Okay, so I put that infographic up there. I was playing around with it. And I did real briefly put this up here. Who's your favorite NBA scorer of all time? Is it Kobe? I mean,
Kobe.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Most artistic player.
Yeah, but Dirk's up there. He's number 6, baby. Is Carmelo? Okay, is maybe a more reasonable question. Is Carmelo Anthony going to pass Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, I think so. It's only 1,000 points. He might pass him this season. I mean,
every season.
He's going to get enough minutes. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. And that's all that. Okay, well.
And that's the thing, real quick, before you move on, that's the thing about the perfect example of stats don't tell the whole story. Shaquille O'Neal is a better player all time than Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's probably going to have more points than him. Like,
okay.
Stat nerds.
I found the tweet. Here we go. So a 90% free throw shooter only has, and this is only, right, a 73% chance to make all 3. So if you shoot 90% from the field, like Steph Curry, if he goes up there, the chances of him making all 3 are 73%. An 80% free throw shooter, the chances that he makes all 3 are 51%. If you shoot 75% from the free throw line, 75,
Spicy.
the chances of you making all 3 are less than 50%. Less than half of the time will you make all 3. Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Shaq would have made all 3 of them. Shaquille O'Neal would have made all 3 of them. I'm telling you right now. He made them when it mattered. Okay.
And I'm on Nick Wright's Twitter page now. I can't help but watch it. But he tweeted out a picture from StubHub about like tickets for sale. And apparently there's a lot of tickets available for the Brooklyn Nets game today. I guess people aren't going to watch the
there was a mob of people saying there was a mob of people dubbing themselves the voiceless, cheering for Kyrie.
They're protesting outside. Yeah. Get pay a couple bucks for a seat. Go inside and watch the game.
And Nick Wright's pretty funny, but he goes, if you're in the Brooklyn area tonight and only have $7, you can either get a fancy frappuccino from a local hipster coffee shop or go to the Nets game. They have $7 tickets at Brooklyn Net for the Brooklyn Nets today. James Harden, Kevin Durant are playing for them right now. Brooklyn, get it together.
This guy's not a big fan of Nick Wright.
You go to Staples Center. Sitting in noses are $200, bro.
I don't blame you, Ace. I probably wouldn't be a big fan of Nick Wright either. He's a Chiefs fan.
If he wasn't a Chiefs fan, I'd never. Yeah.
I embrace Chiefs fans. I love you fucking too. I despise Nick Wright. Even when this very valued member of the sports community got mustard and catched up last year as some fans, tailgating fans do. He didn't even do that right. I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I'll like the guy. And then he just, he had his kids help him do it, but no, No, I'm good. I'm not. I don't like Nick Wright. Not at all.
I don't blame you, buddy. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I don't blame you. He craps on the Bills he craps on everybody who's not the Chiefs, to be honest with you.
He's very anti Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
very anti Josh Allen. I don't understand. I don't know what people don't understand. Josh Allen, he's 6'6". Like, this dude, Josh Allen, is a freak. Like, quite literally a freak. He's unbelievable. And the big gripe on him was the completion percentage and the dumb mistakes. I haven't seen it. We got like a year and a half now sample. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
He's trying to be the first one in and be like, I told you Josh Allen was not the best quarterback in the league. Or, he's just very pro Mahomes. But either way,
he's top. He's like he's a top 5 quarterback. In my opinion, he's like a top 3 quarterback. But people are gonna gripe me on it and say Aaron and Tom and stuff. But I mean, if you're starting your franchise now, like if you had to start your franchise this year, the number 1 pick is Patrick Mahomes, and then second or third, is gonna be, take your flavor, right? Lamar, I guess. Justin Herbert. Mine would be Josh Allen, to be quite honest with you.
He's second. It's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, then Lamar Jackson or Herbert, whoever you
And I think that all of us agree with that. But I don't think there's very many people out there that do, which is what is so freaking mind-boggling to me.
Because they'll say, well, no, you start with Tom Brady. Get out of here.
That's
okay.
Right, he's the GOAT.
We're not
going to start with Tom Brady.
I almost forgot to give dap to these two. And if you guys want to add anything, you can. I'll just throw it up here real quick. Players of the week: Steph Curry and Miles Bridges. Share a little graphic from you. Thanks NBA.com for doing all the work. And I'll just present your work here proudly. The Charlotte Hornets playing well so far. 3-0 record to start the season. As I said earlier, they're one of 7 teams that are 3-0. And Miles Bridges, continuation of last year. Big plays. He feels very comfortable, exceeding some of these, just not exceeding, but he just feels very comfortable looking like a basketball player and a really good one at that. So Miles Bridges.
There's one guy. There's one guy in this AJA sports community that was very high on Miles Bridges coming out of college.
Not you, but that guy down there.
No, it's this guy right here.
No, it's him. I was gonna give Johnny the props for it, but he went ahead and gave it to himself. I was gonna speak before him, but he went ahead and jumped the gun. He couldn't help himself.
Do we have that?
It's been a tough week. It's been tough for a couple of weeks football wise. I got to take him where I can get him, man. Steph Curry's on the other side of the graphic, who we all know. I think he's an unbelievable player, but he gets on my nerves. So.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. Against the, I want to specifically call out his game against the Nets because they beat the Nets. 32 points, 9 rebounds, and shot pretty well from the field. 11 from 12 from the free throw line. See, you got to miss one. 3 from 5 from 3, and 9 for 16 from the, from his other shots.
All the averages, baby. They're going to be right.
And this other guy on the other side of the screen, the Warriors always coming out with some nice uniforms. I like that
they're
one.
Total heat, dude. Yeah, they're heat. Their uniforms are so fire. It's crazy. Crazy how good they are.
Man, total heat.
Total heat.
I mean, I want one. I'm not even.
I love it.
Dude, okay.
Birthday party, Christmas cup.
I think the NBA, this is where they could differentiate themselves so much from every other league, is that people love to see like uniforms, and the NBA can just go buck wild, and it's not just a pun to the Bucks, but like there's so many like artists out there, and there's so many like cool people that make these designs, and you're like, I have to see that on like an NBA player. And so I feel like the NBA should just keep embracing that stuff. Silver go for the
soccer, right, Andrew? Like I don't want, maybe I'm wrong here, but I know you were showing me one the other day. They got Halloween jerseys, dude. I mean, soccer knows what's up, dude.
Yeah, European teams for the most part have their home and away kits, and then they also have a third kit that they wear. Puma made some for the Champions League for a couple of like big name teams, but they absolutely crapped the bed. And then the teams themselves came out with like another secondary option. But they always have like a plethora of like cool looking jerseys. Yeah, Napoli was the team that I showed you the other day that had like a Halloween inspired like web design shirt, almost looked like a all black like Spider-Man suit. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
I just want to say one thing about Miles Bridges, to see where he's come from his 3-point shot, from where it started to where it is now, it still doesn't look the greatest. And you still don't fully believe it's going in. But damn it, that thing's going in. Like, it's crazy to see. Like, he has completely he's completely found the touch from beyond the arc, and it's changed his game from just being a perennial candidate for the dunk contest to now a possible all-star candidate, and it's crazy. It's cool to see.
Well,
one of the most athletic players in the game.
You know who shot the three really very, very well, but also did it a little interesting was Peja Stojakovic. So I mean, why not? I mean, he's never gonna be as good of a shooter, like pure shooter as Peja was. But I mean, it's okay to shoot the ball a little weird.
Right.
And then there's Steph. I mean, yeah, Steph, you're good. We know that. So
he started the other game with 25 points in the first quarter, 9 for 9 from the field, 6 for 6 from three. I mean, the guy's just again. Because
he came out flat against the Lakers, so he needed to present himself well in his second game.
To walk in the bucket, that guy.
Yeah, you think? yeah, definitely. All right, so we're gonna go into the next part of the show here. This part of the show is where we're gonna bring to you our NBA awards predictions this year, and then to make this show not super long-winded and to kind of keep this going, we'll do our best to keep it short and stuff and give you guys some of our opinions here and whatnot. But I will proudly put this on the screen. Our awards predictions is brought to you by Fantasy Pros. I don't know, just hit the link in the thing and just subscribe. It's $3 a month. Go do
Fantasy
that.
Pros. Get on Fantasy Pros, guys. What are you doing? Get on Fantasy Pros. Get on
Password AJA, and also establish the run. You should also establish.
We're not sponsored by Establish the Run yet, but Establish the Run. We're gonna get there. Those guys are unbelievable. Good Lord. Shout out to Wiggins, bro. Won the Thunderdome. Good Lord. 40K. Wouldn't know what to do.
Nice. Good. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Okay, so we all have a pretty good rainbow of opinions here. I would say that obviously we have a couple that share, but kind of cool to see several different points of view here. So the MVP of this year, and I think the easiest one is going to be Andrew. So I'll let Andrew start.
I mean, I think it's Giannis, man. I mean, he's gonna. The NBA likes to do this thing where they kind of have like a golden boy where they ride him for a couple of years and then they X him out of the MVP. Ergo LeBron. They gave LeBron MVP for 4 years out of 5 when he was in Miami and the Cleveland thing. So I think Giannis will probably get 3 out of 4, maybe 4 out of 5 here. I said it last year before Jokic won it, and Jokic more than deserved to win the MVP. I wasn't arguing he shouldn't have won it. I was just thinking Giannis to be a little bit different, and the stats matched up. But if he goes into this year and averages similar to what he averaged last year, he's going to now be the 4. There wasn't 3 consecutive seasons averaging what he averaged last. Myself.
I don't know. I'm here, but I think we gotta figure it out.
Everyone's kind of lagging. I'm just chilling over here.
That was phenomenal. Hey, serious?
I heard nothing that Andrew said. I heard
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you 100% now.
I think it was the connection out there, but I think we're good now.
Oh, I think it's I think it was the bad weather in Southern California today. I would just say that's probably the most contributing factor here. I always feel so guilty when one of us lags because usually it's me. But yeah, okay, so yeah, Giannis is very, very, very suitable for the award. I was gonna say it's Luka, and I was gonna put Jokic again, but I think the Dallas Mavericks are obviously going to be a good team this year. I called it out earlier, and this is my reason. You want Luka to be better. You give him one of the best point guards in history, and so now having Jason Kidd as his coach, I think is gonna that potentially opens up another realm of possibilities for Luka. Who Luka to me maybe thinks I maybe think he's a little selfish sometimes as a playmaker because he's so unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, he still makes plays and assists and is a team player. But I think there's one more step to his game to unlock still, which is crazy. And I think that is potentially helped unlock this year by his new coach. And so I'm really, really excited to see what Luka is going to do this year. And that's my thoughts.
Yeah. I have Joel Embiid. There's really not too much rationale here. He's ridiculously good at the game of basketball. Ben Simmons is not there this year. More is going to be relied on him. We've seen it through 3 games already. He's averaging like 6 assists when last year he only averaged about 3. I think there's going to be more put on that dude's shoulders this year. And, obviously he showed as long as he can stay healthy, I mean, he's going to be a top 3 MVP candidate. We've seen that over the last 3 years. So, yeah, Joel Embiid. I think, no Ben Simmons. It allows his stats to get a little more inflated. So any more success that they have is going to obviously be more attributed to him. So,
okay. Love it. Okay, so Rookie of the Years. I mean, this is probably the one that we have like really, obviously the least amount to go off of, and got to rely on some of what we see from these guys' colleges careers. I think the guy that made the biggest splash so far this season is Jalen Green, who had a 30-point like pretty decent game where he shot the ball extremely well, made like 8 3-pointers or something like that, Andrew. And that's who your guys, right? Jalen Green.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to elaborate. Sorry, I'll let you go.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to add more to that. Yeah, I've liked Jalen Green since before the draft. I told Johnny even before the draft I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, but didn't matter to me what team he went to. He's with the Rockets and Kevin Porter. I think he stepped into a pretty solid situation for him to be like on the ball a lot. So he averaged 19 points a game in the G League as a 17-year-old, and then followed it up with another 19 point per game season. So I just think it's going to translate. The body looks there, the athleticism's there. I think Jalen Green's going to run away with this award. I don't think he's far and away the best player from this draft because it's very talented, but I think he's the best player from the draft.
Got it. Sorry, Jay. I will let you go first next time. I have Davon Mitchell. I wanted to take another Sacramento King because I took Tyrese Halliburton last year and I was close, top 3. That's probably where Davon Mitchell really falls. I want to highlight that he has had a real good game in his last game in which they did lose to the Golden State Warriors because the Golden State Warriors are a better team. He had a 22-point game. Still needs to shoot a little bit better. So far, I'm not seeing a great shot coming out of him. But I think the Sacramento Kings team, to me, because I borderline predicted that they would make the bubble last year, the play-in game, and they're literally right there. So I don't know. I think the Kings have potential to trade away one of their guards because they have a very heavy guard roster. And if that happens, then I think there's a chance for Davon Mitchell to get a lot more playing time and potentially put himself up there as Rookie of the Year. And that assumes the Kings make the playoffs. So that has to kind of tie in because that would be impressive if they did.
Dude, yeah, you have some optimism for the Kings that I don't know, Ace. I'm very glad you have it, bro. The Kings don't know what the hell they're doing. They drafted another guard. I don't know if they know this, but you can't play 5 guards. Go figure. One of their bigs that they just drafted like 3 years ago in the lottery. Oh my God, I'm blanking so hard right now, Andrew.
Marvin Bagley.
They pick up his option and then bench him. And what are you doing? And now he wants to get traded because I'm not playing here.
Strategy con.
Yeah, and they're like, no. Ever since Walton went there, because they've been a disaster for a long time. But Walton's over there; he ain't doing nothing to help them. Anyway, it has nothing to do with my Rookie of the Year. Jalen Suggs, love Jalen Suggs. Have loved Jalen Suggs since college of last year, and then obviously, just because I loved him, he had to go on that miraculous run in the NCAA tournament until he saw Davon Mitchell and then lost in the championship. But besides that, I think Orlando's not very talented. They're not a very good team. I think they're going to rely on Jalen Suggs quite a bit. I think he can do quite a bit. He's really good defensively. He's unbelievable defensively. I do want to see his shot improve, as Asa kind of mentioned. Both of these guys, his pick and my pick. Jalen Suggs is shooting 25% right now in 3 games. That's not going to get it done. But I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's a really good basketball player. He can shoot the ball as a facilitator, playmaker, and is a really good defensive player. I think him and Davon Mitchell actually, as funny as it sounds, they do a lot of the same things very well. Where I think that Jalen Suggs is more of my flavor is in the playmaking side. I think Davon Mitchell is more capable of doing it, but I like the IQ of Jalen Suggs a little bit more. I like the size of Jalen Suggs a little bit more. He's a little bit bigger and quite a bit longer. So
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Dark horse pick. I'm surprised none of us picked Cade Cunningham, who hasn't made his debut yet, but it should be potentially Halloween weekend. So, shout out to Detroit and they're rebuilding their franchise out there. Okay, so we're gonna let Jay start off this next one. Defensive Player of the Year. We both have the same guy, but I'll let you start.
Yeah, I've been a big guy on Bam here for like the last 2 years. Andrew kind of saw, as I was playing DFS, I was playing him quite a bit because he was getting a lot of run with the Heat, and I was like, this guy's actually good at basketball. Like, not only is he like DFS playable, but this was like a few years before he really broke out in that bubble. Like, the dude is a very good basketball player, like offensively, defensively. He's a guy that you don't mind him switching on small guys. Does a great job of getting blocks. He's a stock machine, steals and blocks, for anyone who doesn't know what stocks are. So I think Bam Adebayo should have been in the running more than he was last year, in my opinion. I think I think that Miami's going to be a better team this year than they were last year, and I think that's going to obviously do well for his Defensive Player of the Year outlook. I think Bam is one of the best defensive players in the entire league.
Well, yeah, and Bam is at least more approachable than Rudy Gobert, who's won it 3 times in the last 5 years or 4 years or whatever. Giannis being the other guy who's just an absolute freaking freak. Yeah, but this is what we see. We see a lot of years of the same guy winning it. So hopefully it's not Rudy Gobert again. I will say that I like Bam for a couple of reasons. He's hungry. He finished 10th last year in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He was second team for All NBA, and he was pretty pissed about that. Him and Jimmy D's were all second all team defense last year. He put on 15 pounds, and it's all muscle. I'm excited to see that. And he was quoted as saying that defense is all effort to him, and he doesn't want you to score, and he's going to try his hardest to make you score. So defense is his focus, and I think this is a great opportunity for him. But I think we all really want this guy to win. Andrew?
Yeah, I think the Lakers really made a good decision coming out saying that AD was going to play the 5 this year. They've experimented with starting DeAndre Jordan, but the majority of the time that he spent on the floor has been with AD at the 5. And Frank Vogel's a defensive-minded coach. Roy Hibbert was an anchor in the middle. Anthony Davis is going to be the new Roy Hibbert, just way more athletic. Anthony Davis shed 15 pounds opposite of Bam Adebayo in this offseason. Makes him a little more agile. As you saw last night, he's able to get back in transition, block shots from the wing, baby giraffe. I just think if the Lakers are going to be good on defense, like Frank Vogel wants it to be, because that's what's going to lead to a successful basketball team, then Anthony Davis is going to have to be at the heart of it. And I think he's going to be, because he looks healthy, he looks strong, and he looks very quick this year. He got really quick hands. So if he plays at least 65 games, he's going to have the best defensive rating in basketball, and he's going to be the defensive player of the year, in my opinion. So we'll see though. Bam is, I will see that Bam is unbelievable. I mean, the block against Jason Tatum in the bubble was nothing short of, like close to, like, I cannot believe that still happened. His hand was in the rim when he was able to claw the ball back out. It was just unbelievable.
Dude, the Lakers were the number 1 defensive team last year, and they just added. I mean, they've added size and experience there, and it's wild to think that. I hope Anthony Davis wins though. Props to you for that pick as well, because I was on the border of going with either one of these guys, but I don't know. I think Bam has a great chance. I think Andrew, your next pick here, LaMelo Ball, with Charlotte Hornets, most improved, and is most improved here. Kind of seemingly feels like he's going to take an elite step to becoming like just a generally close to a general superstar. So what are your thoughts about Ball being the most improved this year?
What I like about the Ball brothers, Lonzo too, because I honestly almost put Lonzo in this spot. I'm not even going to say, I'm not gonna put make the bones about it. I thought Lonzo was stepping into a better situation too, where he could be more of a facilitator. But what I like about the Ball brothers is that they're willing to put in the work to change their shots and become more efficient from outside the arc. You've already seen that with LaMelo Ball shooting over 40% to start the year. Obviously, a small sample size, 3-0, but you've already seen the mechanic changes, the work put in. I just think he's gonna again come into the season. He's fully healthy. He's no longer a rookie. He's seen NBA basketball, and now he's gonna play full 30, 32 minutes a game. And we saw what he did last year when he became a starter. Before he was a starter, he was averaging close to like 15 points a game, playing about 28 minutes. And then when he became a starter, he averaged closer to like 22 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, just on a larger scale and a broader scale of games. So I think LaMelo's going to take a bigger step, maybe even add more scoring. I mean, I really like what they're building over there. Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier are a little weird, but I think the core of Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball is a step in the right direction, and that's good. And PJ Washington, if he can just get rid of Brittany Brittany Renner. I think they'll be good over there in Charlotte. I mean, just got to stop banging. You got to stop hanging around with that chick. I'm sorry. I don't even know if you guys know this, but that's funny.
You almost said banging. You said banging. I heard it. Gosh darn it. God dang. Brittany Renner already ditched him. She's over on the Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jackson State. Yeah, hide your kids.
Looking for new meat over there.
Is that Jaren Jackson you got there, Ace? I love Jaren Jackson.
You muted, bud. You muted. It's okay.
We mute ourselves so we don't make our natural sounds while the other guys are making up really good points here and there. Sorry about that. I have Memphis Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. as my pick here because last year Memphis, who was a bubble team, played Brandon Clark and Kyle Anderson and I don't know who else in this spot. So he plays power forward, potential center, right? Right now with Steven Adams on that roster, he plays more power forward. But I like Jaren Jackson for a few reasons. He didn't play at all last year, so he I think he started 4 games and maybe played like 10. He did come back for a few games at kind of at the end of the season. Memphis defensively was not a great team last year. They kind of just they have some areas of improvement. He can obviously provide some rebounds and at least double-digit scoring every night. I don't think he's, in my opinion, going to be a double-double machine because I don't think he possesses the rebounding repertoire, so to speak. But I could see him having like a 20.5 rebound season, and 5 is relatively low for a big guy. I think he's 6'10", or 6'11" even.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna end up with more rebounds than that, especially. I mean, if they could find a way to get that bag of bones, Steven Adams, off the floor, that was the dumbest. I did not understand that trade at all. Like, fine, you wanted to get rid of Jonas Valanciunas, but you go get Steven Adams. I just didn't.
Yeah. What 2 parts of this game that I haven't spoken about that I also like? He can shoot the 3 and he can make the 3, and he can block. And I think he could have double-digit blocks and double-digit threes every night. He could hit 2 or 3 threes. He could get 2 or 3 blocks a game. And I think that's kind of that with 20 points and 6 rebounds, 6 to 7 rebounds, a couple blocks, couple threes. I mean, out of your power forward. I mean, heck, and Memphis, if you're watching Ja Morant, I mean, this team is looking to be pretty good with some of the pieces that they have there. So yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, for me, I have Kevin Porter. Kevin Porter's a guy that I've been pretty high on for a few years now. I love his game, left-handed, so obviously #instant success. No, he's a guy. He's kind of like that point guard, shooting guard, like hybrid. He's good enough to make plays, but really fits more as like a shooting guard. Only averages about 12, 4, and 4 for his career. I think that's pretty low given his God-given talent. Dude's a blur, super athletic. I think in this environment with Christian Wood, with Jalen Green, it's really going to allow him to thrive. I mean, when he was over there in Cleveland, they had Darius Garland and Colin Sexton hogging up the ball. So, yeah, I think they're going to ask Kevin Porter to do a lot this year in Houston, and I think he's up to the challenge. And, I think when I was looking at most improved, right, I was looking at from a numbers perspective, right, they have to improve enough to where you see a pretty drastic change in their numbers and team performance. Houston is a team that was absolutely pitiful last year. And again, his career averages only sit around 13, 4, and 4. I think he's more than capable of being around 18, 5, and 6 guy. We kind of saw it towards the tail end of last year. He had a few big blow-up games for Houston. I think he's Kevin Porter. He's a really underrated player in this league, and I think there's a good chance that he's gonna continue to thrive. And I think this is a shot for him, really improve his game, and I think it'll be noticed by the season comes in.
50-point game last year against Milwaukee.
Yeah, he had a 50 ball. Yep.
I mean, was that an anomaly? Probably, but I mean, yeah, he can score.
Yes,
so we have.
I did. I want to say team sex so bad. He did. He is, dude. He's on team sex 100%. Sorry, I'm stealing ETR stuff.
This fool. Okay, so we can go to our next category here. That's Coach of the Year. If you watch the Atlanta Hawks, they possessed they were the surprise team last year, right? fired their coach middle of the season. Nate McMillan, who was the assistant coach, elevated to coach the team, and they went on an 8-game winning streak after that. The Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, Nate McMillan at the helm, obviously contending for another pretty high playoff seed there in the East. And yeah, I'm not to get into it any more than that. Andrew, if you have anything to add, please do. But yeah, I think Nate McMillan has a shot to win Coach of the Year. And the reason I'll say that, because Tom Thibodeau, who was my pick last year, when we had started, some of these predictions to win Coach of the Year, Thibs took a young team, New York kind of borderline team, and got them to the playoffs. And although they stunk against the Atlanta Hawks, but I think Nate has a better young team, and that was kind of why I picked him.
I still think the Indiana Pacers getting rid of Nate McMillan is one of the most egregious things in recent memory of NBA coaching circles. I mean, they ended up with Rick Carlisle, who's a solid head coach, formerly of the Mavs. But in between that time, they didn't have a proper head coach, and I thought Nate McMillan there was no reason to get rid of him. So what he did with Atlanta wasn't too surprising with me, and I think he's going to continue it, just judging on how the trajectory of Trae Young is projecting for right now. I love John Collins. Kevin Huerter is a really nice player off the bench. Young players too that can develop, DeAndre Herter and I'm blanking on his name right now.
Cam Reddish.
I have Cam down there, Cam Johnson. I was like, what's the guy's last name? Cam Reddish. A lot of chances to flourish for this Atlanta team in the East, which is pretty wide. I mean, not wide open, but I mean, there's a chance for any team in the East, I think. And I'm still not over the fact that he should probably still be in Indiana, but it's the Hawks gain and the Pacers lost. So
blame Larry Bird.
Yeah, I have Eric Spoelstra. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people are just. I mean, maybe I'm a little naive. I don't know. I think Eric Spoelstra is like a top 3 coach in the NBA. Coach. Yeah, I mean, he gets so overlooked, man. I mean, this dude literally has built a winning culture over there in Miami. No one wanted to give him any credit when he had the big 3 over there. I mean, dude is just an unbelievable basketball coach. And if you want any other recognition as to how unbelievable a basketball coach he is, Pat Riley brings him back every single year. Pat freaking Riley. Okay. And I think he's a pretty damn good judge of coaching character. I mean, he's pretty damn good at his job. He's seen quite a few good coaches, Pat Riley, him being one. So yeah, I think Eric Spoelstra, they finished 5th in the East last year. I'm going to tell you something, man. Like I know everyone is real high on the Lakers in Brooklyn. I don't think those teams finish in the top 3 in the West and the East, just to be frank. And not out of anything that they do. I just don't think it's necessary. Like I really don't. Like I think that the days of playoff seeding, like really making a difference, it makes a difference in some aspects. And you kind of saw it last year as the fans started coming back. It makes a difference, but rest over playoff seeding, I'll take it 9 times out of 10. 9, unless I have like a super young team or something, I'll take a healthy roster going into the playoffs than having home court advantage. I would, but I think that Miami's not going to have to worry about it because they're going to have both. They're relatively, they have a good mix of young guys and old guys there. I think Eric Spoelstra is going to find a good balance there and he's built a good culture. I think if they finish 2nd or 3rd in the East, would not surprise me at all. And I think that's good enough to get Eric Spoelstra some Coach of the Year talk.
Love it. Okay, so we have the next category up here, and that is 6th Man of the Year. And you both have the same guy here, Jordan Clarkson. You guys want to get him out of the way?
Yeah, Andrew, I'll let you go on this one because it's pretty much the same thing I was thinking as what you were thinking.
Yeah, I just think, I don't mind going here because I feel like me and you are going to have the similar analysis on this, Jay. I just don't think the role's not going to change. The team chemistry is not going to change. The only person they lost was Georges Niang, which, I mean, you'd lose him in a foot race on the way to Starbucks, to be honest with you. Jordan Clarkson is going to come off the bench, play 28 minutes. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. They're going to get a lot of possessions. They're a good defensive team. There's just no other clear cut. I do like the Patty Mills one. The Patty Mills one makes a lot of sense, and especially for the stuff that Jay just mentioned because of the games, and they're going to need somebody to be on the court, obviously, so KD and Harden could get some rest. That somebody is right there. Patty Mills is what they got him for, so he can obviously handle some of the scoring low. So that could be a little dark horse one for that 6th Man of the Year, depending on what he is rotation wise. But I just think Jordan Clarkson and Quinn Snyder and what they do is just there's no reason barring any sort of injury why he wouldn't be not only in the running for the 6th Man of the Year, he's also the favorite, and he'll probably stay that way for the remainder of the season. But Patty Mills, Ace, no, definitely a good call there because of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and I went with Patty Mills for a couple reasons. And you had mentioned, right, like the first one, Kevin Durant and James Harden are phenomenal, amazing, right? And what's often overlooked is the fact that they actually they do need some rest, right? They do need to not be drained at the end of the season. And who's going to come in for them and score some points? And I think that's Patty Mills, and I think he can score them in bunches too. He could hit the three. So for him to qualify here as kind of sixth man of the year, it would just be someone who's just freaking lights out, reliable off the bench, and just just draining a lot of shots. He did help Australia. This is the second reason, win their first Olympic medal in men's basketball earlier this year in August. He scored 42 points in the what was it, third place game against.
It was a bronze medal game, yeah.
Against Slovenia. He's the for the Australia team, he's their captain, and he's their like emotional leader. And so I think that also brings like another part of the game, which I think he brings, and he can, right? He's NBA champion, been in the league for like 13 years. So Patty Mills, I don't know if it's going to happen. I kind of hope it does, because I want the Nets to be good, because I want the Lakers and Nets to make it to the playoffs, and I want to see that. I want to see them both. I want to see them both get to the finals, because that's, we flirted around so much with, Kobe and LeBron not making it against each other. Someone held up their end of the bargain. So I kind of want to see LeBron take on Kevin Durant. I think that would be really good finals. And we're not going to make we're not going to make playoff predictions today, or maybe not until, we get to the playoffs. But yeah. And then the last column here is surprise player of the year or breakout player of the year. I'm gonna just be quick. I have John Morant. I think he's averaging 35 or whatever this year so far. Unbelievable. The fact that I was looking at his like numbers in his first few seasons here, and he's already doubled his like points per game. And if you saw him in the play-in tournament last year, he was balling too. If you're watching him the first 3 games of the season, he's just balling. He's just out hustling everybody. He made a spectacular underneath the basket reach over layup that just like found its way in. He's not afraid to be the star. And he had a bad end to the game. And then he tweeted afterwards, failure builds character. And I will say that he's not going to win MVP, right? Because for me to say like him to be breakout player is like, almost at that MVP status. But I think he's going to be one amazing basketball player. And if I could roll with him for the next 5 years on my franchise, my man, I would be so happy to every day wake up. John Morant's on my team.
Yeah.
But he's on Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to wake up to LeBron being on the Lakers.
Poor us, man.
Oh.
I wake up every day with goddamn pom-poms in my hand. LeBron,
John Morant over Zion. I would have taken him one. But obviously the marketing rights for Zion, I would have taken him.
We said that.
Yeah.
We have that documented. Double Coverage Sports Podcast, RIP.
Well, maybe one day we'll bring out the archives, but no, John Morant over Zion. Love that pick. I'm going for Cam Johnson here. I know he's on the Phoenix Suns. I know he performed very well against the Lakers, and he was a big reason as to why we got knocked out. But damn, I love his game. He's 6'10", great wingspan, can defend everywhere, can shoot the three. He came in the league, shot 39% rookie year, dropped down to about 35 when his attempts went up, and he was getting used to more minutes in the NBA. And then in the playoffs, obviously when he played the Lakers and did whatever, and into the finals, shot 45% from three. Now obviously that's a drastic number for him to keep up, but if he shoots anywhere near 40%, I mean, this guy's going to be one of the quintessential role players in all of the NBA. So Cam Johnson for me, I think is gonna be one of those guys that we talk about, kind of like almost like a Michael Bridges. I mean, they have like 2 of these guys. Michael Bridges is another guy who could just defend, is long, can shoot the three. They've kind of drafted similar players, but I'm going to go Cam Johnson here. I know Jay has Dejounte Murray. I love Dejounte Murray too, who he has over here. But for me, I'll go with Cam Johnson this year.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think Cam Johnson's going to have to take on a big role for the Phoenix Suns going into this year. And not even that they have to. I think he's earned it. If DeJounte Murray can stay healthy, man, so I don't know if it's a year. I went to school out in San Antonio for 3 years, and I got to take a very good business law class with the guy who was actually teaching the class was a contract lawyer for the San Antonio Spurs. And he was going through about DeJounte Murray. It was the year he drafted him. I was going through his class. And I swear to you, the San Antonio Spurs think that this guy's going to be a top 3-point guard in the NBA sometime soon. And honestly, they have very good reason to think so. He's huge. He's tall. He's long. He's fast. Super athletic. He can actually shoot the ball, has really good touch, is a phenomenal playmaker. I think now without DeMar DeRozan being there, there's going to be a lot of weight put on his and Derek White's shoulders. And I think that he's a guy that's up for the task, man. I mean, we look at his career numbers. Throughout his career, he only averages 10 points. He only averages about 5.5 rebounds, about 4 assists. When you look at last year, though, he got those numbers up to about 16 points per game. He got it up to about 7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. The crazy thing is, even in that time, he ended up finishing the year with 31 minutes average. The year before that, he only played 25. I think there's a realistic chance, if they finally let him off the reins, if this guy plays 36 minutes, his per 36 minute numbers are unbelievable. You're going to extrapolate that out. This guy turns into like a 21, 8-8 guy. I mean, I think there's a real chance that he finishes the season, somewhere around hovering at almost 20 points, around 6-7 assists and 6 or 7 rebounds. I genuinely believe it. Again, they've kind of been putting a cap on his minutes just because he has struggled with some injury history here in his early part of his career. But I think it's time to let it go, man, and see what you actually have. And, the San Antonio Spurs would be wise to do so considering, how talented he is. I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, no, I like your picks a lot, guys. Yeah, I mean, we're bound to see a lot of this come to fruition because a lot of these players that we highlighted are just amazing. And then we're gonna head to the next part of our show, and that is going to be bridged together by this.
It's this week's Buy or Sell.
Gosh.
I love the added sound effects.
Hobo Asa. Okay, so I'll bring up the graphic here in a second. Actually, I'll bring it up, and then I want to see our faces here. So here's the NBA 75th anniversary team, and asterisk, there's 76 players because there was a tie in voting, and that's fine. That's fine. I had to do some research here and to find out who some of these guys were. Dave Bing is a 7-time All-Star, scoring champ 1 year. He played back 60 in the 60s. Paul Arizin, what's the reason he's on this list? He played with Wilt Chamberlain. He won a title. Like, he was a scoring champ for a couple years. He was good, but this is the one the league was like 8 players, and you were playing with janitors and hall monitors. But it's okay, context, no big deal. Some of these guys are on here because of stats, and I will say that. And some of these guys are really good too. George Mekon, Clyde, Dr. J, Scottie Pippen. I mean, I absolutely love watching some old games and watching some of these guys ball. The guy at the top of this list, first guy in alphabetical order, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest to ever play this game. I will say, though, that there are some interesting names on this list, and I'm going to give you some interesting names left off the list. And I will just ask you guys if you guys want to buy or sell that. And you guys don't have to give me, a full rundown or answer or whatnot. But yeah, I think this will make for a little fun end to our show. Court sessions week 2, baby. Let's go. Okay, so
love it.
Okay, one guy that made this list. He is not an NBA champion. He's never made it to the finals. His playoff history is okay. Does he have an MVP? He doesn't. Does he even have a scoring title? I'm not sure. Damian Lillard is on this list. Does he deserve to be there? Do you buy or sell him being on this list?
Well, I'll go first. I'm selling hard. Listen. I just barely succumbed to the idea that Damian Lillard is a superstar at the end of last season. He has no business being on this list. He's a great player. He's a great player. He is a perennial all-star. He is the third, he is the consensus third best deep 3-point shooter in the NBA behind Klay and Steph. No business being on this list. Sell hard. I sell this thing for 50 cents on the street.
I actually agree. I mean, when you look at who when you look at who's up there, I mean, good Lord. I mean, Damian Lillard's unbelievable. But if we're talking about the top 75 players in NBA history, like, what are we doing, dude? Like, no.
I mean, I was like trying to compare, and Gary Payton is not one of the players that I'm gonna compare. Borderline. I was like, Gary Payton's like a lot better. Like, the glove, right? Was that what they called him? Okay, so okay, we're gonna get some spice here. Bill Walton is on this list, guys. Bill Walton had an injury-plagued career. Why isn't Yao Ming on this list? Is what I would like to ask. Then, if you're going to include Bill Walton, so we didn't play with Bill Walton. We didn't watch Bill Walton growing up and stuff like that. And Bill Walton, obviously father of Luke Walton. Yeah, you got the basketball history there. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time All-Star. He led the league in blocks one year. He was 2-time All-NBA. He was a Finals MVP and a 2-times champ. So I'll dap up this guy as much as I can, but does he deserve to be on this list? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll buy it. Again, Finals MVP is all you had to say. The fact that he got, and again, he was more diminished to like a 6-man role with that the 3 title 80s teams with Larry Bird and McHale. But being a Finals MVP, I mean, there's been how many of them? Like 65 of them. So being a Finals MVP definitely gets you on this list, I think. So yeah, I'll buy Bill Walton.
100% Bill Walton should be on here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So people had to make this list. I was just like, okay. He played like 400 games. I'm just saying that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Anthony Davis, 1-time NBA champ. We love the guy. He baby giraffe. He's good defensively. He's great defensively. He can shoot the 3. Held his own for most of his career without anybody else. But does AD is this just projecting? Is it buy or sell?
I'm gonna buy. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of, man, he's had a pretty damn good career already, and he still has a career to go. I mean, let's just be honest. And yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable. Like, I mean, if you dropped him into any time era that wasn't now, he looks like a damn unicorn. So I
will say he's 3-time block champ. He's literally it was the All-Star MVP. Probably should have been our Finals MVP, but obviously they gave that to LeBron. And he was he has made like the All NBA team and the All NBA like rookie team when he was a rookie. Andrew, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'll buy here, contingent on the hopes that this wasn't an argument between either him or Dwight Howard, because Dwight belongs on this list. So I'll buy Anthony Davis being on here, because anytime a guy averages his career playoff averages for however well he did in New Orleans and how obviously how well he did with the Lakers, he in the playoffs he averages 32, 9, and 4 on 54% shooting. So I mean that gets you in right there, and I don't imagine that he's not done in the playoffs. He's gonna have a lot of playoff games left to play, and he'll definitely add to that legacy. So yeah, buy for sure.
Okay, we're gonna go through some names here. The players didn't make the list, and everybody's talking about Klay Thompson, and I get it. Number 7, they made a joke because 76 players made this team, so he's number 77 by his 2 buddies on the roster. I'm actually not going to ask about Klay Thompson. Everybody else is talking about that enough as it is.
You see what the Warriors did? Gave him a 77 jersey in his locker.
Yeah. They messed around with him a little bit. I'm going to ask you guys about this guy. He was a 4-time All-NBA. He was a Rookie of the Year back in 2001, 2-time NBA champ with your Los Angeles Lakers, 6-time All-Star Pau Gasol. And for his career, he averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Pau Gasol was left off this list. Was Pau Gasol deserving to be on this list?
I don't know, man. This is what I didn't expect. So I don't know. Johnny, go.
I didn't think I'd hear Pau and kind of be leaning to no. I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard, dude. I mean, it's top 75. I mean,
so I guess you look at it in the scope of like international players all time. Where is he in terms of international players of all time? So you have Dirk, Hakeem,
top 5 international player of all time.
So does that get him in there? I mean, he averaged like 19 and 8 for his career. He won the 2 titles with Kobe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah. And if I'm a homer, I'm a homer. I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, put power in that bitch.
I just thought there should have been a little bit more international players on this list, which is where I was a little under like valued his contribution in that realm as well, because you got to remember, like, international players weren't chosen, like for a while or embraced even. So I mean, you got to give him.
Look what happened to Tony Kukoc when he showed up to Chicago, and all the hate he got. Yeah,
absolutely. 10 years later, 15 years later, Pau Gasol comes to the league and he tears it up. He was great.
I don't think Manu made it either, did he?
Oh
no, but neither did Tony Parker.
Oh my God, guys, stop jumping the freaking gun here. Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker were my like little combined gift here. Both four-time NBA champs. Tony Parker, the Parisian Torpedo. I can't remember. I don't know. He was born in Belgium, but he's French. 6-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champ.
Parisian Torpedo. Okay.
Him and Manu, I kind of just packaged together. Should they have made this list?
I kind of think so, man.
Oh, so for their careers, they didn't make the list. For their careers. Tony Parker had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 50% from the field, 32% from three. He was also the Finals MVP in 2006, 2007. Manu, on the other hand, averaged 13 points. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He came off the bench, so I mean, there's that for a lot of his career. 45% from the field, 37% from 3. And he was the 6th Man of the Year award once. But I mean, they have similar accolades, and but yes, Finals MVP. You said Finals MVP, right?
I did. I didn't realize Tony Parker actually did win the Finals MVPs. I was under the impression that Tim Duncan won them all, but Tony Parker, yes. Manu Ginobili, no. I mean, it's a Finals MVP.
I think that's the right answer.
Yeah,
I think that's the right answer. Wild though, right? Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay, so this guy, was overshadowed by how amazing Kobe was. He is a Hall of Famer, 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, and he was the most improved player in 2000. I don't know why you're giving it to this guy, but because was great all around. Number 1, he wore number 3 for a couple years. Tracy McGrady, T-Mac.
Oh yeah, see, this is just blasphemous.
He's not on this list.
Yeah, dude, Tracy, and it's the injury. It's the injuries. It's the lack of cumulative stats and everything. People are gonna
20 points. 20 points, exactly. Like about 6 rebounds, 4 assists. But stats only tell one picture, right? I mean, T-Mac was so good.
I love T-Mac.
He scored 13 points in 7 seconds one time. I'll never forget that stat.
I wish we had Joseph in here. If Joseph was in here, I swear to you, I'd say Brandon Roy right now, and I swear to you, he'd have a heart attack. Yeah, I mean, dude, like that's again, like these are guys like you had to watch the games. Like T-Mac was literally unbelievable. Kobe is on record of saying this, that Tracy McGrady can do everything I can do, and he's bigger. That's what Kobe, that is verbatim. That's a quote from Kobe Bryant about Tracy McGrady. But with all that being said, no, unfortunately, he can't be on.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get in for me. I mean, he's like a cultural icon, like, especially in the early 2000s for us specifically, like, especially like the Stephon Marburys, like back in that time, like those were the guys that like we really looked up to as kids. And like even the Vince Carters, like I don't think Vince Carter made this list either, but I don't think he should make the list. I mean, they didn't really perform in the playoffs, but they were like, like icons of our generation, which is kind of sucky to see them not be on it. But again, I mean, it's top 75, they'll do a top 100 and, they won't be on that one either. So it's okay. I can live with it.
Oh man. Okay. So Tracy McGrady, and I think this is where he kind of loses some of his potential of like being, like further on this list is because he didn't have any like, playoff success. It didn't mean he didn't perform because he scored a lot of points when he made it to the playoffs. But yeah, that's the last name on my list. And we're not. It's crazy when in 25 years, when we're 25 years older, when me and the boys are going to be in our 50s, we're going to do the NBA 100. We'll put it on the next version of YouTube. And we'll let you know. We'll let you know what our thoughts are then. I had a great time here. We're gonna bounce off screen here so we can go watch some Monday Night Football. Apparently, DK has already scored a touchdown. So
Like a 75-yarder.
Manning Bros are on, baby. Watch the Manning Bros.
yeah, ESPN too. Go watch the Manning Bros because you don't want to be stupid. You want to learn something in your life. Yeah, that's a great point. But thanks, guys. We'll see you guys soon. This is the AJ Sports Show. Have a great night. Bye.
Hey, look, not to be controversial Lakers fan here, but Paul Pierce.
I mean, pretty good. Vince Carter.